Well, now, a couple of weeks ago, when I was in Hollywood, I encountered one Tab Hunter. Tab who, you may well be saying, though not if you're female and around the age of 40. Back in the 1950s, Tab Hunter was the archetypal, clean-cut, strong-jawed, blonde-haired, all-American boy. He was under contract to Warner Brothers, who rewarded his loyalty by putting him into some truly dreadful films in which he was called upon to do little except portray a clean-cut, strong-jawed, blonde-haired, all-American boy. But no matter. Young women in bobby socks went all faint and goose-pimply at the mere thought of him, while the actual sight of him in the clean-cut flesh sent them into positive frenzies of desire. For a few years, the poor devil was mobbed wherever he went by nubile females lusting after his body. But alas, even good things like that have to come to an end, and not even all-American boys can overcome the handicap of too many bad movies. Tab Hunter drifted from sight. A short-lived TV series was followed by spaghetti westerns, and then 20 years of touring America in dinner theatre, doubtless bawling out the lines over the clatter of knives and forks and the cries of, "Waiter, this wine is corked." But now, aged 54, he's turned film producer to make a western called Lust in the Dust, in which he also stars. And when I saw him, I asked him first, why a western?
Westerns hadn't been around for a long while, and I've always thought they were great fun, and we wanted to do a picture that would be a little out of the norm, off the beaten track, something that wasn't being done in Hollywood today. Well, since we've done Lust, well, there are now 4 or 5 westerns that have been shot. Mind you, not like ours, but there are 4 or 5 that have been shot.
Well, yours is not the classic High Noon or Stagecoach type western, is it?
Well, not exactly, but we did want to kind of spoof some of the Sergio Leone westerns, and we wanted to have a touch of the, the Clint Eastwood, Gary Cooper character and the damsel in distress type of thing. And in actuality, it sort of is like an old 1940s or 50s western. There's sort of a naivete about it that I think is great fun. It's as if Papa Yates at Republic Studios had made the picture with Vera Haruba Ralston, Yvonne DiCarlo, and Rod Cameron in Lust in the Dust.
Wanna buy a girl a drink, cowboy?
I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times, do not annoy the customers.
Sorry, Margarita.
If any blind guys come in, then they're all yours. You wouldn't be Hard Case Williams, would you, by any chance? We've been expecting him to come.
Excuse me. I'll be happy to buy you a drink, ma'am. What'll it be?
Well, thanks. Gin. They call me Big Ed.
Pleased to meet you, ma'am. Name's Wood. Abel Wood.
Abel Wood.
Fixing to stick around a while?
Figure I already wore out my welcome.
You were a bobby socks idol, weren't you? I mean, everywhere you went, you were surrounded by screaming girls. What was it like then?
That's a Hollywood hype, if you know what I mean. In those days, the studio publicity department would put a big push on you, so to speak, and they would shove you down everyone's throat like a new cookie in the supermarket. And I don't think you can take too much of that very seriously. It's fun for a while to have a glass of milk and cookies, but come on, you better have the salads and the vegetables and the things that are a little more stable.
Yeah, so I wonder, how did you adjust after that teenage cult thing passed? How did you adjust to taking on your career from that point?
Well, I was primarily just interested in developing as an actor because, unfortunately, I was the product of Hollywood. And I say unfortunately because I didn't have a formal training like New York or like you have with RADA and so forth in England. And it was very, very difficult for me just being thrown into a major role in my first starring role. Where does one serve one's apprenticeship? It was very, very difficult because you were at the mercy of, a lot of people that were out there taking shots at you. And it was, it's pretty painful, I'll tell you, at times. But I think you have to cut all of those things out like a cancer. And you have to concern yourself with your own development. And if people get your message, fine. And if they don't, that's their bad taste. And what you do is you have to be a survivor.
Did you miss that adulation, hyped or not?
I actually always felt sort of uncomfortable with a lot of that. I just never really... I think the important thing is what you do. To do is a nice action verb, and I think that's more important.
With or without?
Huh?
Do you want with or without?
With.
You would. ¿Está preparado, señor?
Yep.
You been here long?
A month, but I no like. In Las Cruces, I was a big attraction. Men come from many miles to pay their respects.
I'll bet.
Then my father died, and these men, they no longer respecting me. Life is a bitch, senor.
That she is.
He's worn very well, hasn't he? Lust in the Dust should be around later in the year.